Recently, my friend Gary Wales invited me to go for a ride in his match set of Rolls-Royce boat-tail speedsters. Designed and built by Gary on two 1937 Rolls-Royce chassis, they are masterpieces of style and an idealized interpretation of the vintage idiom. We drove the cars through Old Topanga Canyon from Mulholland Drive and up to the top of Topanga, which overlooks the San Fernando Valley. We attracted a lot of attention and got to experience what very few in the world ever did. That is to say, well, I was going to say a bespoke Rolls-Royce Speedster, but since there are two of them, it's a bespoke set of twins, we might say. Riding in the second car with Andreas, Gary's partner, is my son Sean. He's shooting these shots from the second car, and it was the first time that he had been able to experience vintage motoring. The airborne camera that you see here is being operated by Gary's brother Johnny on the left and Gary McLaughlin on the right. More about that later. It was on this stretch of road that I used to drive the GTO, and before that the Berlinetta Lusso, through these canyons that go through the mountains above Malibu and the San Fernando Valley. Driving them in these lightweight aluminum-bodied Sportsters is a very different experience, but fun nonetheless, because the Bentleys I used to drive around in were quite heavy and cumbersome, and although they would go quite fast even in the rain on highways, they weren't the kind of cars that you would take through these canyon roads at any speed that you would call exciting. But these cars were quite capable of some fast turns, and although it may not be obvious watching these clips, you sit on the car rather than in it, and you have this sense of being out in the open as if you were driving a motorcycle.
Oh shit. Pardon my French. That's a fuel pump.
Yeah, the switch for the fuel pumps. It's got two.
Oh, I wonder what the purpose of that was for back in 1937. It's strange.
They were all they were like house switches. They made electrical switches from houses. They use it in cars too.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess
this is the turn signal.
Probably made out of your washer flipper
Yeah.
switch. Nice. Very cool. And what's this right here?
That's a map light shooting down.
Oh, really?
You can read your map under here.
That's so cool. Hey. Please keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
Near the top of the mountain, we pulled over to the side of the road to get a look at the cars. Seen in tandem as they are here, one really can appreciate the detail that Gary built into both of these cars, and what an effort it must have been to make them identical in every sense. And how did you like it?
Oh, it was a great ride. It was fantastic. But it's especially for a car from 30s that I thought would weigh a ton. It did a great job getting up here.
And here's a view from Gary McLaughlin's helicopter cam. Here Sean gives us a close look of some details on the Rolls. Notice the badges up front. Those are Gary Wales' signature touch. Every one of his cars that he's ever created bore a multiplicity of genuine badges from the era, This car is no exception.
If we hit the car, play down. We'll never know.
Oh yeah. Who needs a catalytic converter? Screw that. Straight pipe.
Gary McLaughlin and Johnny Wales showing great control over the helicopter-mounted camera.
So what we did is design and build these two boat tail speedsters, and they're just my salute to Rolls-Royce. They're the only pair like this in the world. When you see these cars, you've seen them all. And I did a couple design features that are very unusual. One being that I never understood why they would take a beautiful Grecian grill, the most iconic radiator shell in the world, and put a single hinge down the middle. So I put double hinges so it matches the shape of the radiator. The other thing I did is I moved the engine, transmission, and firewall back 18 inches. It just entailed sliding everything back, cutting the drive shaft 18 inches, and that did two things. It gave it a beautiful long nose, which is what I like. And it also gave it a sports car weight distribution, so it handles just like, I won't say a Ferrari. If it is, it's a very, very old Ferrari. But it handles awfully well. And they're just beautiful. We have a ball with them. And when we sell them, which we eventually will, what I'm going to do is donate 10% of the proceeds, or $100,000, to the USO at LAX. And I think that's the proper thing to do, to give something back to our fighting men and women who's done so much for us. And that's the story on my boat tail babies, and we're off to some more car shows, and we're just having a ball with them. The look on people's face when they see one is, wow, look at that. When you see the second one, they go, I don't believe it. Ha, believe it.
After my interview with Gary, Janetta Dumichel took some photographs of everyone, and that wrapped up our day with the Rolls-Royces. I want to express my thanks to everyone who was there that day and participated in making this a very extraordinary day, and thank you especially to Gary.